Colorado Attorney General Cynthia Coffman offered a formal opinion addressing proposed changes to the hospital provider fee on Monday. At issue is whether the requested modifications, which would restructure the way Colorado classifies how hospitals collect fees, meet legal requirements. State Senate President Bill Cadman said the AG's opinion still leaves unanswered questions. Mike, I'll throw this to you. Even though we have a pretty high-level legal opinion here, will the state Senate, GOP majority, a thin majority, but still they run the place, will they let this happen?
Just because something is not unconstitutional doesn't make it right, and it doesn't mean you should necessarily do it. The Senate Republicans have stood very firm against this thus far, and so has Senator Cadman. The fact that the AG gave a favorable opinion on the actual legality of it doesn't change the fact that the Democrat-led legislature years ago passed a tax disguised as a fee on sick people in the hospital to pay for Medicaid expansion for healthy people. So, and in fact, I have the letter here from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services granting the waiver back in 2010, and it very specifically says the waiver is granted based on a tax that was passed on certain inpatient hospital patient days and outpatient hospital charges. So the federal government says, we gave you the waiver because you guys passed this tax, not a fee, not a hospital provider fee. Now, when you turn to the idea of an enterprise, there are certain aspects. An enterprise is supposed to be a quasi-governmental organization that provides some kind of service, and it's self-sustaining, being paid for by the people who are receiving the service. This is the traditional definition of a fee. So for example, a water utility would be an excellent example. It's self-sustaining. It's being sustained by the people paying the water bills. And this is also the reason that people don't necessarily get to vote on water rate increases, because the enterprise gets to make these decisions. This is clearly doesn't meet the definition of either a fee or an enterprise, because your sick people in the hospital are paying for the enterprise that they are receiving no benefit from. And so I don't see any way that you could make a rational argument that this legitimately meets the definition of an enterprise. And it's still a shell game and a workaround around the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. And I certainly hope the Republicans stand strong against it.
Eric, let me ask you this a little bit more political strategy. If Republicans look at this as possibly a compromise, if they pass the hospital provider fee as a way to stunt possible real opposition in a ballot issue that would really attack TABOR in November, is that a better strategic move?
There are a whole lot of factors at play, a whole lot of chips on the table at the Capitol, and it's going to be interesting over March and April to see how they get sorted out. And that very valid question, Dominic, which is with the prospect of a, quote, Better Colorado TABOR proposal on the ballot this fall, a new version of Referendum C, let's call it. If Republicans really want to forestall that, they may want to take some of the air out of the pressure cooker here by doing something like the provider fee. In terms of, I was surprised to see this opinion out of the AG, given the level of hostility there's been between Cynthia Coffman and John Hickenlooper. Maybe there was a marriage counselor involved or something. But given the discord between the two of them over the past several months, I was surprised to see this opinion. You still now have a split opinion. You have the Attorney General's office on one side. You have, I believe, Legislative Legal Services with a contrary opinion. A lot of this is going to rest with Senator Bill Cadman, the Senate President, who has been pretty far out on point, saying this is not a political issue, this is a constitutional issue. And he's been going on that second opinion from Legislative Legal Services. If it is a constitutional issue, then you can't have a political compromise. If the constitutional issue has been dealt with, then everything is back on the table, and the Republicans have to decide what they want. If they're going to give this away, what are they going to get in return from the House Democrats, from the first floor with Governor Hickenlooper, et cetera? It's going to play out interestingly here over the next 2 months.
Natasha, this is an incredibly complicated issue, even for the smart people we have around this table. What do you think Colorado citizens want to see happen with this monstrosity of an idea?
A simple list that really explains what exactly is happening here. I mean, I want that. I think there are two quick points on this. I still have concern whether you agree with the hospital, the reprioritization of this or not. The annual TABOR attacks are concerning to me. We're constantly looking for workarounds. We are constantly looking for Band-Aids. If the question is, should we fix TABOR, then that should go in front of the voters. And I think we've had enough of these annual go-arounds that it's probably time for that to happen. Secondly, I have to say that anyone who's watching politics in Colorado has to put Cynthia Coffman at the top of their Google alerts, because she's really made a name for herself. She's becoming a household name, but not only that, she's also proving that she can sway politics in this state on both sides, in both parties, and that makes her somebody to watch. And so her decision here is interesting. It shows that things are going to be, I don't think this is the last time we'll be talking about Cynthia Coffman at this table.
I can almost guarantee that one. Patty, does the state Senate, is this their Alamo? They're never going to let this thing happen?
I think Eric has the right point here, which is now that they've gotten a constitutional ruling, it's okay. And Cynthia Coffman was not the only one who did that. John Suthers had already previously given the same ruling on this. So now if they're going to have to go to that, they have power to make a compromise on something else they want, and we might see it. I don't want to have to explain the hospital provider fee with the coffee cup again, that, when you have money coming in, if it gets too full, then you have to give some back and you can't go fill potholes with it, which is one of the things, that's what Coloradans want to know. Why are there still potholes in every street in this state? They don't want to know about the hospital provider fee. They just want their potholes fixed. And we're about to fill the coffee cup up even more now with this Amazon ruling, which is that as we collect sales tax for things sold over online, the tax is going to come in and it's going to overflow the coffee cup again. So we either give it back to the voters and don't fill the potholes, or we figure out a way to keep some of the money. So this ruling by Cynthia Coffman actually offers up an easier way to get the hospital provider fee through if the Senate Republicans figure out what they really want, because they'll be in a pretty good position to get it.